Well, hello and welcome to another main tournament matchup in Group AC between zelgadissan and matt7898. I'm Dante, and I'm joined tonight by Clearmouse. Say hello, Clearmouse.
Yo, hello, Dante. Oh my gosh, dude, I'm already getting some really comfy vibes from you tonight.
Some comfy vibes for a comfy mode.
Oh,
Persia,
yeah.
the comfiest.
That's exactly the first word that came to my mind when you told me this was Ambrosia.
Yeah, comfy rando about to take place. But yeah, big shout outs to Lady Laura Linda for doing the tracking for us this evening.
Oh yeah, one of the best.
We're gonna be starting with a sword. Unfortunately, in the Invrosia version of the Osia Worlds, we don't get a boots hint, but we're jumping right in. Both starting at Link's house.
Yeah, we got, actually, so at least one of the upsides, and we're gonna, by the way, the entirety of the evening, we're gonna mention many upsides to Ambrosia. One of the upsides about getting 20 rupees is that, in addition to that bomb drop, you're really excited to see these things because this will enable you to actually, do stuff, right? Zelga's testing out. Ooh, got big magic for the tier 1 pull. We can get into Hype Cave. That 20 rupees, by the way, that is Arrow game money. That will get us basically the rest of our way there for like chess game, dig game. We don't even need to go visit the pesky Skullwoods area to farm for stuff,
And the good news about like going for these drops over and over is that it actually builds character. And it does not make you feel like you're wasting any time whatsoever.
Absolutely. All of this is actually just prefacing, so we're, as you mentioned, we're in the dark world. And, another one of those benefits of character building in Ambrosia is that you really have to mentally, prepare and physically prepare yourself to the tens of mountain trips we're going to make. Probably without boots, honestly. So this farming, back and forth, I think is really going to just set them up, for success in the future.
Yeah, very much. Shout outs to Zelga getting 3 chest turns there. But we do get a glove, so I think the time they spent is well worth. Always nice to have the glove just in case that Thieves Town big key shows up already, and then you go down and the block's in the way and you expect it to, you expect to be able to pick it up.
Oh yeah, that's actually, yes, exactly. Again, another perk of Ambrosia is that, because we're here in the dark world, we're gonna see Thieves Town, we're gonna see all these dark world dungeons, that we don't typically get to see early, and part of it is really is using your creativity, right, in order to get through these dungeons. Remembering, you can't just autopilot these things,
Yeah, especially in today's, competitive scene, it's hard to say you can autopilot any race, much less an inverted one.
Yeah.
But the good news is we have a decent amount of money. We can go in this house and we could see if we get the X99 Dream or if we could just take the freebies. Zelga gonna show us how it's done.
Yeah.
Matt's not feeling it today. Matt's just gonna go straight to dig game.
Yeah, I think so Matt certainly he's got a little like people gamble, emote on his stream. I believe he is willing to risk the dig game and try and getting a lamp and trying to get a little bit of extra money, out of it. Just like even after getting the lamp, he's gonna try and risk his luck to try and get 10 more rupees out of this.
I mean, he got almost his money back, not quite.
Almost, yeah, it's okay.
At least we don't have to worry about chess game. There's nothing more infuriating in Ambrosia than walking into chess game and not having enough dollars.
Yeah, and especially, well, so this isn't going to happen in inverted, but if you come here as a bunny, right, and you're bunny walking, the chess game guy will actually take your money as a bunny, but refuse to let you open any chests. It is actual like a literal scam.
It's the scammiest of scams. It's also scummy too. I just can't believe he would do that.
I know. I mean, and you can't even tell because he doesn't show any emotions. He just kind of stares at you.
He just kind of wiggles the shoulders back and forth, like mocking you, like, haha,
exactly.
It's my
Did we go into? Oh no, Matt already went into CJ Pass. That's right. That's where he got his bombs.
More bombs.
Yeah, looks like we're just gonna take the south route in. Maybe we're gonna look for that extra hammer. Instead, we find 1 rupee.
We gamble. We gamble on this bush. It's a 50-50.
It
Matt
is.
doesn't
Oh,
gamble.
Matt. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe. You know, he might think that 3 bombs is enough.
Should be enough.
Should is the opportunity. By the way, we're not going to bring up any prior memories of Matt's last race against Zelga. He may or may not have ran out of bombs in Ice Palace, therefore completely blocking him off from the right side of Ice Palace. It was a lot of it was a lot of damage that he had to endure because he was quite worried. However, it ended up saving him, 2 or 3 minutes because nothing was an Ice Palace. But still, we don't want, him to go through the exact same experience again. We do see that Thieves Town is a pendant, by the way. So maybe, maybe we don't have to go to the back of Pendant Thieves Town.
Or unfortunately, maybe we do.
Or maybe we do.
Know.
That is true. That is true. Oh yes. All right. Yeah, that's right, Matt. Yeah, giving us another perk of inverted or ambrosia, rather, excuse me, is that one of the big things is that the big keys are actually shuffled, minus the GT big key. That will always be in its dungeon, but yeah, all the other big keys we're gonna have to go search for.
Yeah, and having the TR big key early is a little bit of a load off your mind. Okay, we'll get an ice rod too.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Speaking of loads off your mind, having not to fret over that for a while is always nice.
Yeah. I mean, well, so what are your thoughts? Do you think TR is going to be a pendant or a crystal, though?
Given that we were given the ice rod sub 10 minutes, probably a pendant.
Yeah, that's
maybe
that's
a required one. Who knows? Oh, look at that.
I know. It's not even the green pendant, but yeah, you're right.
I am not disappointed at all. This seed is delivering everything I wanted.
Everything within expectations, correct? Yes, of the inverted seed. Although we do have looks like another green pendant Ice Palace. For better or for worse, it's not like Ice Palace. We can't really get into Ice Palace in multiple ways, but I don't know if it's necessarily like a place that these guys are really willing to dive in so quickly.
Yeah, and one thing to remember here, you may be counting items at home, you may be just watching along blindly as I'm doing, but the key to remember here is that there is a guaranteed item, not a map, not a compass, not a key, but a guarantee. It could be a big key since those are shuffled, but it is a guaranteed item on the boss. So whatever the number is, you just take one away and know that you got to clear the dungeon to get the rest of them.
That's right. Yeah, and none of these other, dungeon items are shuffled. There's still the same number of items within the dungeon. It's just that in this case, as you said, that one of them is on the boss. Looks like, though, we are rewarded with a compass. Unfortunately, or fortunately, whatever your preference is, this is not map compass shuffle. This is not Enemizer. The compasses are really just kind of there to tell you the original intent of the message, where the boss is, and not which boss it is. It's just going to be where the boss is.
Oh, it'll still tell you what boss it is, but I hope that with these runners in the main tournament, they know the bosses by now. I think they've done their homework.
Probably. I think not only are they they're here obviously in group stage in the main tournament this year. I believe they were also in the main tournament last year as well. Probably got pretty far too. So I do believe that these guys have some experience.
Yeah, most definitely. I know, I believe Zelga got 3rd in 2021, made a very good run, as we see Desert Palace Big Key coming out here in Pot Prison Room.
Yeah,
and give... Okay, now, oh man.
Well then, where's Dunka? Skull was apparently we should have visited first.
Both of them are probably thinking right now, I wonder if my opponent did this first before Thieves Town. But I think you just go up the mountain here, and then we pray to the land of Hyrule about these stinking Lionels on the bridge.
Yeah, no, that's also a very good point. We do have the lamp, as we did see from Dig Game, and with the lamp and with the glove, we are going to actually go up the mountain in logic for for those of you who again might be running out of things to count at home. Please start your mountain trip counter. This is going to be trip number 1 for them.
It gets inflated if you accidentally die to Lionel's.
Accidentally, or yeah. You know what? It is probably accidentally. You're right. They're not kind.
We've got a little bit of time. They're climbing the mountain. It's gonna take a year and a half.
Just a little bit. Yeah.
So this is Group AC. This is the second matchup between these two. As Clear Mouse was talking about earlier. Right now, Matt is sitting at a 2-0. This will be his third game of the group. And Zelga is sitting at 2-1, so his fourth game of the group. Both of them, really strong right now with 2 wins. So, I think both of them kind of want to make a statement here, try to get the W today.
Oh yeah. And obviously, yes, very, very talented runners. These guys have been in the community for quite some time. Quite the track record. A slew of titles, or very close to titles. Zelga's had a numerous number of finishers. You mentioned probably, I think, finished the third place tournament, main tournament, a couple years back. Matt was the 2021 SG Live, like casual boots tournament. Actual, he got a lot of kibble bucks for that, for winning that tournament. I think Zelga's got a lot of cross keys titles with him. We got a mushroom, by the way, and turning in the old man. Always, if you're gonna see a fetch quest, the mushroom by far, again, in inverted, it is really, it is really heightened, to its fetch questness.
For climbing this mountain, I gotta say, I love that the bunny sprite on Dark Link, his arms are doing as much as they can.
Yeah, he's trying. He's striding as far as he can, and yet, somehow, we still can't make it.
Yeah, he's doing his best.
All right, and there's not gonna be too much for us for this mountain, this particular trip, just because we can't really do much, as a light link or I don't actually know what sprite that is. It is a Final Fantasy IX MSU, which the bunny music is actually quite cute, but I'm actually not sure what.
Well, unfortunately, the bunny music is gone.
That's
and
true.
I'm hoping for the runner's sake that's the last we hear of the bunny music.
We would very much appreciate a pearl. Correct.
We would appreciate a pearl to not be somewhere ridiculous and race deciding, potentially, but.
Well,
we'll see.
Dante, you're spoiling the future of inverted. We're not even to the light world yet. We're still here in the dark world. You gotta sit.
There's so much positive to be said about this mode. All right, so Matt and Zelga both heading here for. Okay, Matt, very close.
Wow.
So was Zelga, but doing nice.
Zelga. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, so it seems like this is not their first foray into Dark Death Mountain in inverted, as either bunny or not. It looks like they were successfully able to, survive their way over to Super Bunny here.
Yeah, and we did see, I think that was Quake over on Turtle Rock. So now the question is, what do? Do you go do Aga? Do you take the bait, go into Thieves Town? I guess Matt's going to Thieves Town. Or maybe he's got 2 bombs. There is that option to Kern jump over, but he is headed left, so we're not heading we're not gonna sequence break into East Dark World, but Zelga gonna go into Aga, so we're headed to the Light World.
Yeah, this is actually quite the divergence, and I'm actually a little bit maybe surprised at the actually as who's is going to Aga first. So Matt, for all of his inverted and ambrosia experience, is actually quite a proponent of doing Aga. He actually says that there is quite a lot of benefit actually to doing Aga. So on the chance, right, that Aga, let's say, is not required, which seems to be more often than not in inverted, you get actually a really nice light world portal, and honestly, the just because of how kind of like the light world and dark world saving portals were to get over to the light world, that the defeating Aga light world portal is actually really efficient. So you actually get some of your time back immediately, because it's not like we have a nice flute or anything that we could use to travel in the light world, right, or anything like that.
Right. So yeah, this is a big gamble, I think, for Matt. He didn't gamble the 50-50 bush, so I feel like maybe he has to gamble something else.
True. He is definitely putting the ice rod to quite good use, though.
And there's been a lot of discussion. I've seen runners talking about how, even if you do Aga early here in Ambrosia, and maybe you didn't need to, most times, especially if Mirror shows up, it kind of works itself out. in some way, shape, or form just by, being able to have that respawn point on top of the
exactly,
castle.
exactly. Zelga, though, please live through the Aga Tower. It is actually still quite dangerous. One of the things, of course, being in inverted, is that, the one safeguard, when you have to do Aga in a non-inverted, right, is that you need a sword and either a cape or another sword, plus a lamp, right, in order to get into Aga.
Right.
Here, you are, as we're kind of seeing Zelga doing, we're on 4 hearts total. Didn't even, that 3rd heart may not made it. We may not even gotten it because we got Super Bunny, right? But we're definitely here only on that one fighter sword, right? No boots, no cape, no safety. It can actually be quite the dangerous climb.
It can. I mean, this could be the exact same loadout in a standard boot seed in this tournament where someone just gets real risky. Yeah, standard boots, not casual boots.
Oh, right. So do we have boots, Stanty?
We don't. Not in this one.
I'm trying to envision them real hard with the little dust.
We'll get them soon. Don't worry.
Soon. TM. Gotcha. I understand.
Yeah. Do not worry. This is the room I was talking about here on Matt's side. Look how efficient he does that by picking the rock up with the glove that we found.
Yes. I can't also believe that Zelga is here without the hookshot, without the boots, without the boomerang. Nothing doing Aga Tower.
Yeah.
Like we can't even. We can take a picture, and put it on the fridge or something, or maybe we'll put it on the mini fridge, right? Just like as a participation trophy.
Right. I may have miscounted, but I don't think there's an item in the big chest today.
Well, you did give us a very nice reminder that there's always going to be an item on the boss, so perhaps you are correct. I also was not paying enough attention to the number of items that we'd already found. I know. Yeah,
I think we saw 4 between the chests that we've opened, so this should be the number 5.
Okay.
Yeah, and Lady Laura Linda in chat, our tracker, keeping me straight. In line tonight.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate that because I will be out of line a lot.
Yeah. That's why we have a tracker. That's why we have Lady Laura Linda with us. Very nice job on the blind fight. Oh, what that pendant, Thievestown.
That's kind of spicy.
Yeah, we've already seen 2 pendants, Swamp Palace. Even if it's our last pendant. Oh no, never mind. It is for sure crystal. We definitely need the pendant. We definitely need the hook shuffle pendant these down.
We do.
Oh yeah.
But finding that hook, the only way I think that really, really hurts Zelga is, if Pearl's gonna show up somewhere for him. I not many opportunities for that. Maybe just something like bottle vendor. Yeah. I mean, right. So right now we're still Pearless, as we're kind of seeing. I mean, Zelga's gonna make his way very shortly here to the Light World, but we're also gonna be demonstrating and hearing again that wonderful Final Fantasy IX bunny game music. Is that Zelga's gonna be doing a lot of bunny exploration, and as you mentioned, in this case, if Zelga ends up finding, let's say like boots. Maybe like some more firepower or something else, it can help him clear out these town a little bit faster. But I mean, like that's maybe kind of it. Right.
I'm more concerned right now though if the hookshot isn't really unlocking anything super major or early at the moment. Oh my gosh!
What do you do? What do you do? Send help. I'm scared. Oh, he despawned him. Perfect.
Wow! Look at this. Look at this. The size of the. Look at Matt Gaming here in inverted. Oh my gosh, amazing.
Matt just said be gone by walking to the left.
Yeah.
So 3 bombs here in Hookshot Cave in the first chest. Zelga gonna give us the sequence break of Hyrule Castle. 3 more bombs in that second chest.
Nothing in Hookshot Cave. Looks like Matt's gonna probably go do Agar. Actually, I mean, are we out of logical things to do at this point?
I think, to be 100% honest, I think this is kind of bad for Zelga right now. Just because we're probably going to get a Moon Pearl in one of those like awful locations or like something that's going to lead to it. So the hookshot's going to kind of be an outlier for a little longer than I was hoping.
Yeah. The fact that the hookshot right now is kind of on a pendant boss is not really, anything enticing, I would say, for Zelga. We did find a Big Kitty Eastern Palace in the back of in the front of Escape. rather one of the very important items to make Zelga actually go into Eastern Palace.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's inverted. That the back is the front and the front is the back.
You're
totally
right.
fine.
You're right. Everything is topsy-turvy. Matt, realizing that unfortunately, while the ice rod is very useful, it does not work on these shiny gold yards.
Ah, yes, I remember learning that one day. I was very mad.
Oh, that's okay. So the front slash back slash whatever we are here in Escape is the Eastern Palace care package. Like, I think Zelga honestly is pretty happy that the fact that Sequence broke this.
I would be happy too. That's everything Zelga would want.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, we could just stop the scene for Zelga right now.
Eastern Skipper's no more. He's going in, I think.
Yeah. I think actually can we get over to Eastern as a bunny? Do you know? He might want to try and find the pearl. It would be
fun.
Oh, yeah. True.
We might get a bunny revive looking kind of lost, or lost maybe, having to fall in the pits, but you could do it.
Okay, well, a good thing we have an emo for that. We have an emo, and I think for every possible situation of Eastern Palace, honestly. All right, looks like that we don't have. Looks like we did not get a small key here in the front of Escape, so we are gonna need that glove in order to get to the back.
So now we have to deal with the red guards. There's red guards everywhere.
Yeah, the post Aga light world is, is apparently a very big fan of Zelga. That it's like paparazzi, chasing after him.
Well, I gotta say, Matt finding out that also red guards are immune to that, which is awful. So we're probably gonna get something here on Bottle Merchant. That's gonna either be chain to Pearl or just our Pearl.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, one of the things that is probably also something you also kind of pick up also in cross keys is, especially for bunny walking, as you called it, Dante. One of the things in logic is that as a bunny you can talk to people, right? Like, for example, like the chest guy, but he can't open any chests. Right. But you can definitely talk to the bottle vendor, and he will sell you what is actually a very cheap moon pearl. I mean, we've seen that thing on sale at Zora for 500, right? I mean, this guy is practically a bargain.
Legends say that if you find it in its vanilla location, it's completely free, but...
yes, that is also very true.
I don't think that's a way of happening in Inverted.
In Inverted, Inverted, I think it might be a bit more difficult. I'm trying to envision how you can actually do that, and I don't think you can.
Yeah. All right, so Aga heading into, or Matt heading into the Aga fight. Aga's gonna head into the Matt fight. I don't really think Aga's gonna do well.
It's Inverted, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so we got both those.
Wow.
And a flute.
It's okay. I mean, this blind hut is it's and a powder. Wow. Where's our hammer? Here in blind hut in the back in the well. Close.
Maybe. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, but
I mean, it's in Inverted. We're almost go mode. With what we've got, we just need some keys and a sword.
True. You actually have a very good point. Yeah. So like in one of the, while Turtle Rock here is actually also a pendant, we do actually have, assuming we have a mirror somewhere, we can actually we enter Turtle Rock in multiple ways. So we actually don't necessarily even need all the Turtle Rock small, to find all the Turtle Rock small keys, for example.
Yeah.
Very convenient flute though. I didn't even realize that because the flute you have to activate here in the light world, and Zelga's here in the light world.
That's true. So Matt not heading into front of Hyrule Castle to sequence break. I guess he's trying to stay within the logic. So his Eastern Palace big key and first bow, or in his case probably going to be second bow, going to be at large for a little while.
Yeah. And honestly, so I don't know. I don't think that Matt has necessarily as strong as opinion regarding Eastern Palace as Zelga does, but I believe he is aware of, Zelga's tendencies for Eastern Palace, so I don't necessarily see him rushing into Eastern with only just a bow. He'll probably get the pearl,
Yeah.
and then do some amount of light world exploration before kind of heading over to a what we now know is going to be a crystal dungeon.
All right, there's the moon pearl for Matt.
Mhm.
Gonna head down in and get his other goodies from Kakariko.
Yeah, and of course, Zelga also finding 300 rupees in Chicken Hut. Very, very convenient, as Matt also reminded us that we did find Kana Samaria here in the well. Very nice items, honestly, to have. Samaria, Ice Rod, we can already, do some stuff in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, very true. I do think we are going to... yeah, we're gonna have to get into desert. So book has got to be something we have to find. There's no backdoor way, like we normally have. But there's our hammer.
Oh my gosh!
Just on the path.
Yeah. So suddenly we have our traditional inverted dark black world special, entry. We still need in this case the hammer, the glove, and a pearl, of course, to get into the other world. Mitts are not required in inverted because you can get around as long as there's nothing in. I think what is it, King's Tomb, right? You can kind of get around it for everything else. But that is now we can actually access all of the normal, whatever, light world, dark world entry points that we're kind of used to.
Right.
But I mean, I was also gonna say, so when we get to the light world, right? We kind of have as it's hard to understate. We have the entirety of light world open to us, right? And the fact that Zelga went south as opposed to north, because we have the back of escape open, right? After the pearl, we've got Graveyard Ledge, or we can go to South Shore, and it looks like at least Zelga, has made a very good decision going south because he got his hammer.
Yeah, and he's about to get another big key. We'll see if it's a useful one. Looks to be Skull Woods, so to be determined. My assumption is probably no.
Yeah, I don't even think we found anything good in Skull Woods.
I'll be kind of shocked if Matt goes north here, only because Kakariko's kind of pushing him downward, like you're playing a normal open or casual boot seed, and you're coming in from the north. So, plus it's kind of easy to get back to ish. I don't know. Like I said, I'll be shocked.
Yeah, maybe. By the way, Zelga is a master using the ice rod. That ice rod is extremely tricky in order to use, but he nailed all 4 multi-moldarms in all of his ice rod shot. Didn't miss a thing. He has fought quite
a high level of skill and luck to pull that off.
I was actually thinking, that Zelga has actually. He's probably had some training for the main tournament, right? Probably fought a good number of ice trinexes. Knows how to use that ice rod.
Definitely. Also, he's been. We saw like this from both of them climbing Aga Tower. I mean, both of these guys do enjoy playing like spoiler modes as well.
Oh yeah.
Zelga being spoiler champion from SGL in the online part of 2022.
Oh yeah.
Both of them very accustomed to low percent plays. 10 arrows there just in Ice Rod Cave. And Matt is going to be picking up his hammer from K45.
Yeah. I didn't actually realize just actually how low percent these guys are. They do have blue mail for what it's worth, right? But, 4 hearts. I mean, this is pretty much, kind of like you would be normally in a, like at, 6 minutes, 7 minutes in. Definitely.
It definitely makes the crab area, like the whole crab rave, a little less hype, just because we don't have to worry about taking 2 hearts instead of just the 1 with the blue mail, so it kind of turns the volume down a bit.
Yeah, and crabs have never really been anybody's friend, honestly, in any of these races. All right, looks like though, so Zelga, actually kind of demonstrating there's some nice, overworld routing. Looks like he has made enough of a way to South Shore, kind of taking the whirlpool back, nice fake flip ring, via like an NMG route, and we're gonna go basically straight back up here north to North Light World. Really good on I would consider for Zelda, just because sometimes these locations, right? Because you have every location basically open to you, right? So you don't really want to be in a position to isolate things. And Graveyard Ledge, just like in non-inverted seas, can certainly be isolated if you don't make it a priority.
Right. So Matt doing these desert checks, kind of an outlier. $20. We saw Piece of Heart there in K45. So if Zelga puts these off, that'll be good for him. Still, the storyline developing, I guess, is if and when Zelga's going to go back into a Pendant Thieves to get that hook shot off of
Yeah, oh, 100%. And because, and we know that that hook shot's gonna be pretty required. And, right now, again, just because we have so much open to us, if depending on how much the hook shot locks or how much it doesn't lock, honestly, we could basically not see that location on Zelga's side for quite some time. Yeah, I will say,
Matt, I was gonna say, Matt
go for it.
choosing to walk out of the desert area. I guess that is faster than going. Yeah, it's definitely faster. We don't have the mirror. Never mind. I'm not thinking straight.
Oh no, this is inverted. You can't actually afford to think straight inverted. You can only think backwards, upside down, reverse.
Incorrectly,
Yes,
as it were.
It's just par for the course. All right, this is gonna be Matt picking up his. That's right, Skullwood's big, right? And so as you mentioned before, if Matt ends up putting off, or sorry, not Matt, Zelga ends up putting off the Desert Palace area, maybe coming back with a book, which we do know is required, could save himself a little bit of time, being more efficient. He did try the Light World current jump, unfortunately was not as successful, but good thing there's just a bridge. He was just trying to take a shortcut.
Yeah, I want to say I respect the heck out of him attempting that one time to see if he could save a little bit of time. You could just walk down and do the bridge, but he's like, "Look, I'm gaming."
Exactly. All right, just looks like 50 rupees, which Zelga's gonna pick up. We do have the powder, but yes, the mushroom is probably one of the worst item locations to travel to. In at least inverted, you don't have a very nice flute spot too, because
right.
we only use the flute in the Dark Worlds.
And legends say that one of those async qualifiers was pretty brutal with some item on that mushroom.
Yeah. Turns out it was only 50 rupees this time. I think with all of the qualifiers, the Ambrosia ones are probably the ones that these guys would like to put out of their minds the most.
For sure.
Now, I can't remember if Zelga actually reattempted something. I want to say that Matt maybe did reattempt his Ambrosia one. I think he also did one for MC Boss Shuffle as well. But yeah, I mean, these seeds can be pretty brutal. That was a nice instant fake flipper on Zelga's side.
Indeed.
Zelga is all about sequence breaking. He sequence broke Hyrule Castle, sequence breaking the Zora area here. I mean, we do have a gloves. Zora himself is in logic, but everything else he's kind of done, right? The current jump attempts, getting over here and doing all the flipper checks.
All right, just a piece of heart on ledge, so not having to worry about that today. Let's see if Matt's gonna take that same route Zelga took. Gonna take this portal and head on up to Back of Escape.
Yeah. Now, we did see the key back here, so, Matt's gonna actually do some Lost Woods, which we did not see Zelga do. Ooh, but Zora is selling Zelga a big key too. Okay.
That's that subtle hint from Zora to say, you need to go get the hook shot.
Right, If only...
But Zelga's saying, I don't know where it's at.
Yeah. If only... The hint or the subtleness of Zora, spitting out the Swamp Big Key is like the quality of the hints sometimes that we get from this, from some of the hint tiles if they were enabled. But that's right. So Matt's actually gonna be looks like a bit more thorough. Didn't really get anything from Lost Woods, but he could check these two boxes off of his location tracker. And because in this case the small key wasn't here in the back of Escape, Matt actually could choose to go to Dark Cross.
And definitely
back
could.
Way. I don't know if he will, because maybe he wants to do. I don't know. Maybe he wants to continue his route, just kind of like we saw what Zelga did, and to go visit, Turner's Mushroom. In which case, going all the way to Dark Cross. I mean, he can probably Death Warp out. It's okay. But yeah, certainly would be another decision for him.
Right, and this is really good routing here. I think I was kind of wondering why Zelga may be going into Light World here, but he does have that Eastern Big, and he's got 2 bows. There's 4 items to be had here. He's going to clear this out for his first crystal too. So all positives here.
Oh yeah, and it's a 5/6 crystal as well. I mean, so our other 5/6 crystal, as marked by our wonderful tracker, Lady Laura Linda, it is Meyer. Maybe not necessarily the best crystal, but it is something that's going to be on the table. You know, we do
Yeah,
have a
definitely.
flute, right? Yeah, which of course we totally got. You know, most things are now, you know, going to be in logic, and with the flute, we can definitely flute over to the Mire area. Now, of course, with the hook shot, Matt can get into Mire, assuming we do actually find the medallion, right? That we need for it. But Zelga, bootsless, hookless, is probably going to need to go visit Pendant Blind at some point. Or just find the boots, you know?
That would actually be a very good out. I'd hate it for these guys in a way, but I think that would be a good out for Zelga if something's in Mire soon in like the sphere progression chain. And then he has to go to Thieves. Like if he gets funneled in early, that'll keep him in this, I think. You know, the longer it stays a little wide open like this, it's going to be harder for him to get back into it, I think.
Yeah. Again, right? Like if the hook shot is just kind of like an end game, you know, like we just needed to, you know, do the go mode swamp, you know, or something like that. Yeah, it's going to be quite the quite the trek for Zelga. And you know, I don't necessarily see him, you know, going into, let's say, like hookless swamp, at least not willingly. But you know, it could be a thing, right? Before maybe he says the hook shot's there versus on a pendant boss.
Yeah, the other thing is like, you know, for hook to be required, like for that Mire, like I was mentioning, that the downside would be we can't find boots for a while. So
when that. You're right, but we're only here for positivity, okay? I mean, this mode is just full of us wanting to be positive.
Indeed.
Ooh,
hey, look at that! We can block fireballs now. I think that's a very positive feeling.
Well, it's also another great hint, you know, to nudge Zelga back into Thieves Town. We got the Swamp Big, you know, from Zora. We got the Fire Shield because now he can actually face blind. Maybe Zelga was too afraid, you know. Out of all of the spoilers and, you know, everything else he's done, I'm sure blind firing the fireballs was probably his biggest fear. And now he can go back.
Well, I guess we're going to finally get a East Death Mountain check here from Matt.
That's right. He does hook shot.
He's got hammer too, so I mean, like he can go ahead and like sequence break Hera with, you know, Hera pot. So he's got a crystal on the table that might be, you know, plus it's very dense over here. There's tons of items.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point. And, you know, and yeah, as you mentioned it, because it is very, as soon as he gets past these dead rocks, it is going to be a plethora of items for him. And maybe, you know, he's hoping in this case that he's going to be able to find the boots. Another sword. Maybe the Eastern Big that we, of course, know isn't going to be in Hyrule Castle. But, you know, he's definitely looking for something to do.
All right, $20 on Armos, so nothing of major value there in Eastern Palace for Zelga, but hey, it is 5/6 crystal, and that's a positive thing.
Oh yeah. Yo, +1 crystal is always positive. All right, like you never want minus crystals. You know, it's almost kind of like a pendant at that point. You know, although for
speaking
Zelga,
of minus, we've got a cape to make us disappear, and we have a Quake medallion.
True. All right. Okay.
To make dead rocks disappear.
Oh yeah, that's right. And you know, so again, you know, one of the great things about this mode is you get to start with the sword. So once you find a medallion, you know you can use. You can use it immediately. Oh, but look at Zelga coming. Oh man, coming over here to Eastern Palace. You know, forget the value inside Eastern. It's actually right next door. That Eastern Big Key and the bow or silvers. I probably, you know, motivated Zelga to come over here, and suddenly, you know, we're a mere and half magic richer on his side.
Very true. So we're checking out Mimic Cave on Matt's side. We do have one item in here. We are going to get the Mire information here on Zelga's side. It is Bombos, so that is still at large, not able to get in on either side. Two items coming up here in the Mire shed. Got to get these pesky blocks out of the way. Just a piece of heart.
Doesn't he have a
And
mirror?
a big key. He does. That's a big key to Tower of Hera. That's kind of... Man, they both have a piece of the puzzle the other one needs. So we talked about outs. Let's kind of... We'll run with this one for a minute. If there's something in that big chest and Matt decides to go ahead and do Hera now, then it's going to be quite a while before he gets back to it.
Yeah. Matt has to get over to Hera first. You know, living. He's on to 1.5 hearts, which isn't really that promising with these Tektites and Dead Rocks. All right, it looks like he is at least going to hopefully make it into Hera. So then in Hera, once he's inside, he can die as much as he wants.
Yeah. All right, well, we're headed back to Eastern Palace 2 Electric Boogaloo, but instead we're going to mirror and go to the Dark World Eastern Palace.
Yeah, looks, yeah. Zelga, I think, was over here earlier, but maybe he wanted to, yeah. We're going to pick up Kiki, again, and think, I don't know where Zelga got all his money. Again, maybe he found a 300 somewhere. Nice use of the bomb in order to avoid his mirror portal.
A very heads-up play. So we've got 2 dungeon items here on Matt's side. That's going to be something to keep in mind here for this trek up Tower of Hera.
Oh yeah, good point. Well, that's right, Matt. No boots in order to go do like the more another version of basically the Hera pot that you don't need bombs for. But luckily he had to find a number of tries, and luckily he got it on the first one. Oh,
Master
rewarded,
Sword
though with the Master Sword. Yeah, that's quite nice.
Item
Especially
number
for
1. There's 2 more to be had. Definitely one on Moldorm. The question is, do you do the basement or do you bail out of here? Because it could just be a map and you're sunk. You don't really know.
Yeah, that is also very, very true. And so, man, and it's an inverted, right? Like the decision here to do Hera basement, it just becomes that much harder, just because look how painful it is to get back to Hera to begin with. But then also Hera basement takes like a minute, right? And you're not even guaranteed the item, like so.
Right.
Matt also is not guaranteed to stay on the platform, but okay, that's Moldorm decided to behave.
All right, second item is 3 bombs. I'm just jamming out here to this.
No,
this
yeah,
music.
no, it's great. Whenever I mean, Diddy actually has a good resemblance to Matt every once in a while. Pretty cool guy, pretty cool monkey.
Oh yeah. All right, Matt's bailing. We're leaving an item. I don't blame him. That's the smart play. That was not the smart play. But I gotta say, I've done that. I think everyone's done that at least more than they care to admit.
Oh yeah, and Matt.
The Deadlock's following him. Like he's like, dude, let's go to Spiral Cave.
It's like I want a friend. Oh man, it just reminds me. It just brings back like the memories of Enemizer, right? And you're here in Spiral Cave. Sometimes these mini Moldarms are actually a good thing because sometimes they'll get swapped in with Dead Rocks, and man. Once you stun a dead rock, it doesn't want to move for like 8 whole seconds. You're not happy.
Right. You mentioned Enemizer. Speaking of positive things, I think adding that in maybe to this Ambrosia mode might actually spice it up a little more.
Yeah, what would be kind of nice for people, boots somewhere, anywhere.
Yeah, I've been
really kind of
praying
hoping
for boots for a while. I'm an old man. I like to go to bed at a reasonable hour.
Yeah, we were really trying. We were really hoping everybody involved in this restream, commentators, trackers, runners, that it would be that they could finish the seed as fast as they possibly can, and we would not withhold any type of movement items from them. I will say at least Matt was good. He to get the hook shot. We got the fluke pretty early. We're just kind of missing that last like major piece of the foot puzzle here.
Yeah, for sure. So Matt gonna get his big key out of the Meyer shed. Where's Matt gonna go now? That's kind of the question. Zelga's still clearing out pod. I haven't seen anything of major value pop up here just yet. Oh man, there it is.
Oh, you're right. This is even the mirror shield does get a lot of flack. I will say in this very specific instance, we needed the fire shield to remind Zelga to go to blind, and now he doesn't have it. So I'm kind of worried that he may not remember now to go back to Thieves' Town.
Wait, has Zelga didn't do Uncle? Okay, there's flippers. So these are 2 new item checks.
You're right. Actually, he just went straight into Hyrule Castle.
I mean, he couldn't do it at the time.
Yeah,
So, he's missing out on a boomerang. Now, that could be useful for menuing or something.
He doesn't have the hook shot yet, so maybe he needs a sun prize. Just a small thought.
Yeah. He's gonna do Uncle now.
Okay. Yeah, he's also really putting use his silver arrows quite nicely.
Oh yeah.
Zelga also demonstrating that nobody actually knows where to mirror in inverted.
Yeah, Matt was playing one of these, I think, last night, and he demonstrated that in his own stream.
Yep. You know, I mean, like the positive side is that there are a finite number of locations that you cannot mirror in. So once you just eliminate all of those, the only ones left are the ones you can mirror at.
Right. And I mean, honestly, back in the 90s when we were playing this game vanilla, no one knew where you could and could not mirror at.
That's very true. That's very true.
So it's exciting new ways to learn things about the game.
Yeah, and I think actually, do you remember when Inverted first came out? Was it 2019?
It's 2018.
2018? Okay.
Yeah, fall 2018. Because the main tournament had it as an option, and that was kind of the new showcase at the time. There's Matt's Eastern Big.
Yeah, Matt in the Ice Rod today has really been, really like super tight, like best friends essentially. We have really got a lot of use out of that Ice Rod on that side.
Useful for something besides Trinex.
I mean, well, Matt demonstrates his knowledge here in inverted, or maybe he was just using the Ice Rod at every possible opportunity, and whatever died with the Ice Rod shot, was the one that decided to unfortunately get into his path. Alright, looks like though Matt's gonna take the Death Warp. We do know from Zelga's side that it was, I think, 20 rupees. But, Matt's gonna at least finish it up his trek over to the front of Escape.
Right.
Nothing on Hobo. Yeah, so we did find at least flippers. I think that was the main valley outside of course Mirror Shield and Pod. No big key, means that Zelga, well, what he needs to not channel, a certain cloud and actually find the Pod big key, because we do of course need that for crystal completion.
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we are finally starting to dwindle down in checks on Zelga's side, and since we might actually see Zelga hit Thieves Town sooner than later.
True. We are actually kind of in the area, honestly, for Zelga. Like, Zelga, of course, got the mirror from the back of Sahasrahla. And, he's here in Lost Woods. Maybe he would mirror here, check the front of Skullwoods, check the Skullwoods big chest, and then maybe he'll go directly down to Thieves Town. Certainly a possibility.
Yeah, very possible, yeah.
Meanwhile, though, we're just gonna swap locations, at least on Zelga and Matt's side. Nice skip there on Zelga's side. Was able to deftly avoid the heart piece. More difficult than you might think, honestly, in order to avoid that item.
All right, so no big chest. Zelga may be item counting better than we are.
True. Also, that also could be very much a thing. Actually, is Smith Chain available?
Smith Chain is available with that mirror.
Okay.
So that's probably where we're headed. I would assume, as we saw in chat, Hookless Swamp does loom for Zelga. I really think it would be a hard sell for Zelga to do that before diving Thieves.
The back of... Do we happen to know how many items were left in the back of Thieves Town?
There were 3.
3? Okay, well, that's actually not too... Yeah, I mean, as you said, that's actually... it's never considered lucrative, but it actually is not considered a bad option at this point. Right. You are also kind of in the area. Zelga's going to be able to do hammer pegs. Granted, he's not going to be able to do them very quickly, but he's going to do them as quickly as he can. Unless, of course, the boots are right here on Smith.
That's actually going to be really good for him, if so. It's red. It's not shoes.
It is, unfortunately. We did see, I think, the bottle vendor giving us the biggest advantage, which was our pearl for 100 rupees. But other than that, I don't think we've really seen much value in terms of the rupees.
Yeah, finally getting back here to Magic Bat. We're kind of off the path when we got that hammer, so would have been very out of the way to come back. 10 arrows, though. Nothing of major value.
Yeah, and I think as you mentioned, right? So we are kind of, looks like we are kind of running lower and lower in this case on checks. I think both on Matt and Zelga's side. So because they haven't really found anything for a while now.
Oh yeah, we do have hammer pegs. You know, that's don't need mitts for that. The only thing we really need mitts for, like no other way around it logically in this mode, is King's Tune. So if you get mitts, you might want to check King's Tune.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe.
That's true. Admittedly, though, like mitts coupled with the mirror and coupled with the flute is actually quite nice, honestly. Like, and it just improves your efficiency so much. As you mentioned, not hard logically required, but you're really not going to say no to, let's say, you know, going over to desert relatively quickly because you can actually just flute over to flute spot Dark 6, you know, lift up the mitts portal, and then, you know, there you go. You're in desert.
I mean, it wouldn't be out of character here, I think. Like, Zelga thinks, okay, do I want to dive swamp here? Do I want to go do thieves? You know, maybe leave your portal here at the flute spot in Dark World, and then go run and just do thieves like really fast. That would be ideal for him. He doesn't know it's ideal for him, but it would be.
Yeah, I was thinking about this purple chest though.
All right,
that is a 100% required Bicky, and again, you know, so Zelga cannot get into Mire without that hook shot, so he can't necessarily even get baited into that location right now.
And I did forget we do have these two checks on Zelga's side, so this makes total sense to route all this together.
Yeah. Although I was actually going to ask, have we seen catfish on either side?
We have not, so that is on the table too.
Yeah, because I think when Zelga went over to Zora early, right, like he did not have the mirror, and so he just was able to only, you know, sequence break out and then do all the water checks. But you know, with the flute that Zelga does have, actually getting to catfish is again another positive asset, you know, of Inverted or Ambrosia, is that now you can flute to Dark Potion Shop, and then it's, you know, it's just a couple of screens and a rock away.
Right.
Not as painful as you were.
All right, so what is Zelga's next move here? He's walking back. So I'm assuming he's trying to maybe either go to Swamp or set up something before Swamp.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to think what else he kind of has left in this area. That, of course, right, and part of the part of the experience of post-Aga Light World is apparently walking from out of desert back into South Shore, and yeah, and because of course, and this is Inverted, it is probably actually just much more efficient, right? He actually might be doing what you were talking about, Dancy, leaving his mirror spot portal open, into a spot,
but he's going to where you were talking about catfish, not.
Well, you know, it's teamwork, right? You know, this is co-op, you know. I mean, but like Zelga actually does have, you know, some really, this is actually a really efficient, you know, idea, right? He's using the flute to his advantage. You know, one of the things that it's, you know, again, sometimes hard to take advantage of when you're playing Inverted, and you can only use it in the Dark Worlds.
All right, so Matt gonna trek through Pod now and get his flippers here in the back.
And it looks like maybe only sorry.
Oh, there's Bombos.
Yeah.
So
we going to Ice Palace now? Pendant Ice?
We are.
Do you believe in Zelga's? Does Zelga believe in his rule of fire? That's the question.
I mean, I think it's everyone's rule of fire at this point.
That's probably true. That's actually probably true.
So that actually, the Bombos, if that had been $20, that would have been solid, I think, for Zelga. Obviously, you know, he's thinking, I found progression, this is my out, you know, this is what I need. But, you know, from us being able to see both runners, it's actually, I think, what he did not need, just depending on what else we get here in Pendant Ice.
Yeah, that's also very true, because so far, I mean, so Matt, I will say, still has gotten, you know, a little bit of movement advantage, right, with the hook shop in terms of like logical like items, right? It hasn't really opened up anything. So, you know, the less that we see on Matt's side that's kind of behind that hook shot, like the more, you know, worrisome that we're going to be for Zelga, because again, as you mentioned, the less stuff is behind it, the less incentive Zelga has to go back to Thieves Town because he's gonna go find more progression elsewhere, and then he's just gonna go do that.
Yeah, the other thing like you want to keep in mind, you know, a lot of the good stuff that Matt could do like on the mountain, like, you know, say go to Dive Pendant Turtle Rock or something, that's not even on Zelga's plate right now because you know, he doesn't even have access to it. So him being gated from that is very nice. It's keeping him in it.
That's actually a really good point. Yeah, in fact, the fact that we're locked out from useless things on by the hookshot on Zelga's side. Yeah, that's certainly something that is going to really help basically block up and hopefully funnel Zelga back into Thieves Town. I mean, honestly, nobody wants to go in there, you know, and you know, honestly, when Matt went in, when he did, was actually a very quote unquote like good time, just because, you know, facing your options, nothing really looked that appealing, and you know, versus now when Zelga's got 5 other options, you know, Thieves Town suddenly does not look that good.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I think honestly, like it was mentioned in chat, but the one thing we really, for Zelga's sake, do not want to see here in Ice Palace, we don't want to see any myths show up. That'll kind of ensure he doesn't have access to that mountain to waste some time, you know, doing checks before that hook shot. All right, Matt gonna pick up his second shield here.
Yeah, he doesn't need. Yep, he does not need a reminder to go back to that to pen the Thieves Town because we can already see on the tracker he's already defeated it. Zelga, you know, he's making his way over to Ice-T. Not the most often visited location, but you know, we are still running out of stuff. Ooh, nice knowledge on Zelga's side. A good reminder that there is actually a bunny beam underneath that the pot.
All right, so I think Matt is actually gonna take those flippers. We're going straight to Crystal Dungeons. You know, ABCD, always be clear dungeons, as they say.
Yeah, I mean, now we're gonna kind of see in this case where the hookshot hookshot's already shown a lot for Matt, but this is definitely, as you mentioned, we have a clearable Crystal Dungeon on Swamp Palace. We've got the mirror, we've got the hookshot, we've got the flippers. We don't have to worry about any small keys because they're all within the dungeon.
Right. So let's kind of do a little bit of a sanity check here right before we fall into Cold Stare. What do we need actually to beat the seed? We definitely need a fire rod. That's still at large. We would like to have boots, and we need a book and a pod key. Right? Yeah. Like between the two runners, they have everything else. It's just, you know, some of it's at large.
Yeah.
This fight is a little tough. Zelga doing a really good job. Oh my gosh,
he's doing great. Like, no boots, you know, no fire rod, not even Master Sword. He's basically just swinging away at this hammer. He's getting a lot of really good combos in. Holy cow. That
ain't Falco. This is the Wombo combo coming in, getting 2 down.
Oh my gosh, dude, what a clean fight. You think Zelga's been practicing? I mean, like, it definitely, if he has, is definitely showing.
Oh yeah. All right, first item there for Matt, just 10 arrows. Green pendant for Zelga, so now we can go visit Sahasrahla. Turn that in. See if he's you know, if he's got a big piece of progression, like if the pod big is there, that's gonna be huge.
Oh yeah, by the way, speaking of potential, well, so this is gonna be, oh man, is Zelga gonna go into Swamp?
This is a little unfortunate, but it does look like that is where he's headed.
Okay, all right, okay. So on the plus side for Zelga, he had visited Zora before coming into Swamp. He has a Swamp big key that Matt does not. So if something's here in the big chest, which Zelga can get to, and he can also get to left side Swamp without the hookshot, but you know, if something is here in the big chest, this is gonna be quite the advantage for Zelga.
So yeah, like Zelga still has some outs, and I know I've been using that word a lot. But basically, outs being things that can keep him in this or swing it into his favor. So the Swamp Big is definitely one of them. Hera Big, once he gets up there.
Oh, right, that's right.
With the hook is another.
Yeah, and even though Zelga, of course, is down a sword compared to Matt, because Matt did get a sword from the compass chest of Hera. You know, given that we can't really get to Argus on Zelga's side, probably not going to be too big of a difference at this moment, right? You know, of course, I think you know, given where that sword is, Zelga is eventually going to go get it. And the fact that, you know, we do have silver arrows on both sides. Somehow, you know, for example, if Zelga ends up finding the boots in order to get into Mire, he, you know, a Vitreous won't be much of a difference, right? Because we at least control the boss pretty easily.
And Matt gonna go ahead and do left side here, setting up the diver down.
Yeah, this makes sense for Matt. We're still missing a good amount of stuff.
All right, this is the moment I'm waiting for, except it's not. He's going south first. Zelga, how can you do this to me?
Oh
the
my
anticipation is actually killing me.
He doesn't even have a hook shot in order to hook onto like the pots and stuff to make things faster. What if the hook shot were just in the big chest? Wouldn't you be sad? I mean, we know it's not there, but wouldn't you be sad?
He's routing it. He's routing it better than what we want. It's smarter to do this, to do the middle, to go and do left
than
side.
to like hop down and such. Aw, it is just a heart piece. All right, well, we're gonna get a sneak peek at least first on Matt's side to see what side holds for us. Great. Okay, you know what? The good news for both Zelga and Matt is that the dig spot is so close, you know, to Swamp. It's about as close as we're gonna get, honestly. So we're gonna go check. Zelga probably is gonna go check it immediately. Matt, I don't know. I guess we're gonna see what's in the back of. We're gonna see what's in the back of Swamp. You know, and maybe, honestly, that shovel could be a blessing in disguise for Zelga, because, you know, if it's gonna funnel him back into, like, the Lost Woods, or not Lost Woods, Grove area, right, in the Dark World, you know, it's just slightly closer to Thieves Town.
Well, you're always close to Thieves Town, you know, when you have a flute.
Right. That is true. That is very true.
It's, you know, it's always just a toot away.
It's like the fairy godmother in Shrek 2. It's like happiness is just a teardrop away, except in this case it's a flute away. Happiness and Pendant Thieves Town. I never thought I would say that for sentence.
Oh yeah. So we do have a question to chat about does Zelga not dive her down? And the answer is Zelga does dive her down, as we see Fire Rod and a Tempered Sword on Matt's side in the back. But when you do not have the hook shot, you cannot do diver down on that left-hand side because you have no access to the key to get up north.
Motivation to play key drop, so you can, you know, instead of just fighting all of the all the
key drop. Stop it. That's not this tournament.
That's true. That is true. It's like a, you know, it's like a bring your own keys type of situation, but it's only big keys this time. You know, BYOBB, big keys, BK, whatever.
BKs.
Yes. Yeah, BKs.
All right, so the tempered fire rod's good. That's another piece of the puzzle we're missing.
Yeah, Matt, by the way, I mean, the fact that he didn't sequence breakup, but he went to Hera, right, got his Master Sword, and then found Tempered in the bag right in time for Argus, along with that Fire Rod for Phase 2. Certainly quite happy. You know, we definitely can see. And, like, while he doesn't have the boost, can't necessarily get the zero cycle, but, you know, once you hook, you can only need one hit in order to kill a Puff, versus the 2 for Master Sword.
Yeah, solid fight there. Getting a bottle.
Did we talk to Sikid? We did talk to Sikid, right? Have we?
Did we? I don't know if we did.
Where did Matt get his first bottle? Man, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, okay, our tracker, Lady Lorelinda, is... Yeah, that's also very true. First bottle was in Mimic Cave. Oh, that's a very good thing
Matt's
to dig
running
up.
Away. He's running away.
He is. Where are we going? Are we going to Ice Palace after this? Maybe we're just gonna do flipper checks. Oh, Matt's not gonna be very happy. Once he goes to Zora, he's gonna see the small thing. I mean, we know from Zelga's side it's gonna be nothing, but he's not gonna be very happy.
That's very true. Now, this probably is gonna get him his Bombos, which will get him into Mire, but he won't have that Mire big. We know that's on purple chest.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, you know, so between Zelga and Matt, we have many pieces of the puzzle, right? We can complete many dungeons. separately. You know, this is why, you know, sometimes teamwork is, you know, the sum of its parts is greater than the whole type of thing. You know, they probably don't want to go into dungeons that they cannot complete. However, they may end up doing that if they feel like that is the better option for them.
All right, so Zelga gonna go ahead and clean up Pod, finish up Helmasaur, get another crystal. Like Zelga is he's in item go mode at this point. Like he has all the keys he needs. He just needs a couple items.
Yeah, that's
true. And we know where a lot of them are. Matt is diving ice.
So I do think that Matt, you know, if he decides to go back and do like Smith Chain, right? Like he can route in that shovel pretty well, but he kind of has to do that, right? As opposed to, but I mean, like again, another feature of inverted is that you we need, the overworld routing is currently certain could be quite directive of where you decide, you know, where you end up going next, right? And so, you know, temporal locality for Matt, Ice Pals is like right next door to Swamp, right? So you may as well go there.
And you know, chat pointing this out, we just found that book in that big chest. So we're in go mode basically for Zelga. If he gets that hook shot, everything's on the path now. So even if he last locates that, like he's got so little left, I think he's gonna get that sooner than later. Matt has everything open right now. He could get baited into diving TR with his current loadout.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, because he's definitely going to ice, and he can't get into. So he can get into Mire, as you mentioned, but we don't have the Mire Bicky, which is on purple chest. Oh, yeah.
It's tough. It's tough.
There is so much open. Yeah, and you know, and something like this is, you know, this is just how sometimes rando goes, right? The sequence break, you know, the item sequencing that you end up getting, you know, could certainly have a profound impact on your mid to late game, and we're kind of seeing that, right? Early on, you know, we knew that Zelga was gonna have to go and get Pendant Thieves down, but maybe it was actually kind of a blessing, you know, over the course of the entirety of the seed.
All right, so here we go with the Helmasaur fight. Gonna need 17 hammer hits since that's what he is choosing to use to knock this mask off. 9+ in with the 2 holes on the sides now. Lining up that silver shot. 1 shot, 1 kill, getting it done. Well, that's crystal number 2 for zelgadissan.
So where is Zelga going after this, do you think?
I feel like he's going to Thieves Town. Like, I don't really think there's much else to do.
Yeah, because I guess like the hook shot, right, as you mentioned, is completely locking him basically off the entirety of the mountain.
Oh, I guess he is going to go turn in this green pendant.
Right,
like,
that's right.
If this is mids, he's in trouble. But if it's not mids, I actually think he's in a really good spot now.
It is just a heart piece, so let's see in this case where Zelga decides to go. We're gonna get the mirror, we're gonna go flute into Dark World somewhere, so chances of Thieves Town's looking pretty good.
Yeah, this is a flute to 3. I'm calling it right now.
All right, let's see this. You are on the mark +1. Positivity.
The frame rate got me.
Where are we going? We're going to Light World. What do we have left here in the Light World? We have a Desert Palace. Thank you. Thanks, chat. That's right. We did pick up a book in the Pod Big Key chest. Or big chest, sorry.
That was a nice cold stare fight there from Matt.
Yeah, Matt, while it was not quite the hammer fight that we kind of saw on Zelga's side, it was certainly, I would say, a little bit faster. But yeah, Matt has certainly much nicer equipment coming over to Cold Stare. Yeah. Oh, that's right. And Zelga, of course, reminding us that even though we could read the tablets from the book that he picked up, we do not have a Master Sword on his side yet. So it's going to save him actually a little bit of time in the grand scheme of things, because we don't have to sit through the Bombos animation.
Yeah, very true. All right, is Matt gonna remember? He's not remembering.
Well, he might be walking out of Azora area. Maybe he'll get it on the way back. I mean, what else can we do? I mean, but I think you're right, by the way, because he already did Ice Palace, honestly, and yeah.
I'm kind of shocked
that we wanted to catfish. Maybe I don't know. The slight pause to kill Azora was somewhat odd. Maybe he was reminded of. Oh yeah.
I thought he was trying to get some extra dollars, but I mean, he's at 1,500.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. This is one of those moments where, you know, for purely selfish reasons, I would like to, you know, see webcams on these guys, just to see the reaction, of course, on Matt's side when he picks up the Swamp Thing. All right, okay, looks like he is running out, or sorry, walking, swimming, whatevering out. He's trying to, you know, save a couple
this is faster.
He's trying. We're really trying here. We're 70 minutes into the seed. We're trying to really, you know, give our D-pads a break and not just keep holding, you know, a cardinal direction. Okay, but this is gonna be good for Matt. He's gonna find his Bombos medallion.
Oh yeah, this is good.
Yeah, and then of course with the hook shot and the hook shot Bombos medallion with the flute, we're gonna be able to basically go do another crystal dungeon. And actually now for Matt, he's gonna have Pyramid Fairy on his side open after Meyer as well.
Yeah, so that's going to be something else to just kind of detract further, if he wants to go there. But a little bit of a scenic route. This might be the Smith play, which will be good. That'll lead him. Yeah, this is. I think he's thinking about light roll.
Yeah.
But he's.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he is doing this properly. I thought.
Oh right, yeah. Yeah, that's right. I'm also right. We can go to Meyer, but he doesn't have the big key, so maybe he doesn't want to go there quite yet. Oh, we're gonna do Skull Woods. We're gonna do Skull Woods because we found the fire rod in the back of the swamp. That's right.
That's true. You love to see it. All right, land molas, bowland molas, just with the salt and vinegar variety.
Didn't your dietitian tell you you shouldn't ever eat junk food? You know, past like 6 p.m.
A little like junk food on the side to keep you happy. It's always good.
That's true. We have been completely boothless for many minutes now. Matt, you could even see it's affecting Matt's gameplay because we clearly did not even have a small key by the time we, got to the back here.
All right, now we're going to Thieves Town. So here we go. The clock is actually ticking for Matt.
Yeah, this is going to be Zelga's hookshot. He is in true Zelga form. I believe he will give a very Zelga-esque reaction of, I cannot believe that it's here and my opponent could have had this, well, an hour ago, which, he actually is probably going to be right in this case, but it's certainly going to be leading him to the correct bet. As you have mentioned before, Dancy, once Zelga gets the hook shot, everything basically is going to be on his way, right? He's going to get the Master Sword and Fire Rod in the back of Swamp Palace. He's going to be able to, and then he's going to be able to do desert. He's going to basically be able to have the ability to clear out all of the dungeons. Maybe. Depending on his situation with Hera, he may not drop down for that Tempered Sword that we saw. It kind of maybe depends on when he goes to Hera.
For sure. I mean, the good news is we don't have to go to Turtle Rock, though. That might be something Matt's thinking about. The shovel, though, that's a huge outlier.
Yeah.
This next bit of play is actually probably going to determine this race, I think, just with how close it's going to be since everything else is on the path. If Matt leaves out of here, it looks like he is, but he needs to do Smith Chain here and include that shovel. If so, I think that's going to lead him potentially directly to go mode. I don't think he'd skip Pod Big in this case.
Yeah, if he's going to do Smith Chain, I mean, he's going to basically drop down and deliver the purple chest in the light world, right? And so you can't really, it'd be so hard for him to not turn in the big spot. But as you mentioned, we're here in Kakariko, in the light world. Matt is holding down as hard as he can, or maybe as lighter as he can, because you know we need to give our D-pad a break here. We are checking Sakit.
We're doing it.
All right, confirmation that we had not done this in the first 75 minutes.
All right, and if Zelga's counting properly, he's gonna know there's no need to do this chest over here, and he is.
Yeah, these guys are professionals.
Yeah, top 5, you know, lifetime global ladder. You know,
that's actually true. Yeah, Zelga really, they have.
Zelga's gonna be on it for sure.
Zelga's actually probably played every single mode available, as well as Matt, in this randomizer. That's like not glitched. I'm actually trying to think of like a mode that Zelga and or Matt has like not tried out in ladder and like not basically just like completely dominated.
All right, so into phase 3 of the blind fight here for Zelga. Gonna finish that up nicely.
Yeah, see, he's even hiding behind all the explosions. We can't even see his facial reaction. Not only, of course, from the explosions, but also the mirror shield. Alright, yeah, so this is gonna be Matt picking up the... He's gonna finish the smith chain. He's gonna do hammer pegs, probably. Deliver the purple chest. And do... Hopefully the dig spot. So Matt also on his path for smith chain. He's gonna go get his pod big from the dig spot, ideally, and then when he turns in the purple chest and gets his Meyer big. That's also go mode for Matt? Is that right? Oh no, not quite. And then he's gonna go to pod, get his book, and then we can go do. Then we can go beat the game.
He's gonna have like a slightly inefficient route, as far as like, you know, given what we know. But from his vantage point, I think as long as he sticks to this, he'll be okay. And then it's just a bit of a dungeon clearing game. He's probably not going to feel too great about the Ice Palace clear, but Zelga's going to be, I think, maybe in that same boat.
Yeah,
so, comparing things right now, like Matt's at 4 crystals done, and Zelga's at 3 because he does have pod done, and both of them with 2 pendants.
Yeah, and I would venture to say that Zelga may not be. I think Zelga might be feeling just slightly worse than Matt, just because Zelga, had gone into Hookless Swamp. Right? And yeah, I mean, he did find the shovel, right? But I mean, given where he now knows and where we know where the hook shot is, it was certainly not necessary to trip in. It could have just been done in one shot. Yeah, but actually, right now, as you mentioned, it's like, and at least looking at the scoreboard, right? We have 2 pendants on both sides, which. Again, neither of them may feel great about it, but we do know at least that the other one is already, they're literally in the same boat, and now it's just kind of a race. In this case, for Zelga to finish out the rest of his dungeons, and then of course Matt to drop off the purple chest, and then get to pod. And as long as he does the big chest and pod, we're gonna have a very close race on our hands.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Dante, do you think we're gonna find boots before we finish the seed?
I'm gonna guess no.
That's such a sad guess.
Well, I'm guessing that because we saw on Zelga's side, there's the fire rod for Zelga and his sword. Yeah, I mean, we saw that the boots are not going to be in GT, just based off of the desert layout. And
oh, true. I mean, there's a small key was on there, right?
Like, we're going to be boss rushing here shortly, and granted, those are items. There's a chance, but I don't think by the time we get to the end of this, as we like to say, the game would be playable more if we had boots. But I don't think this game will be playable, so to speak, figuratively.
Yeah. It's at least, we did have the mirror, at least, that is playable in some ghosts viewpoints. But yeah, the boots though are really what's missing here. So Zelga's here on Master Sword Argus, doing as best as he can. Again, so it kind of might be a timeout. To maybe probably Zelga's disadvantage is that depending on what he decides to do in Hera, he may not see that third sword that was that was in the compass chest, which, if you end up just doing a hair pot in, like, you're definitely not going to go see that chest if you're just going to go straight to the boss.
I'm not worried about Zelga obviously fighting Master Sword Silver's Ganon. That'll be a problem if it's close, potentially. Now, the thing to keep an eye on as we see Zelga grab his 4th crystal is, will Matt go back in and get this big chest?
Oh, you're right. We went straight to the back here. That's actually a very, very good observation. I mean, so Matt's definitely playing to, his advantage, right? And to his game knowledge. Again, one of the notables of Ambrosia, not necessarily inverted, is that there is going to be an item on the boss. So Matt is certainly, banking on, his book, Go Mode, being on Helma, right? And if it's, if it's on Helma, he literally just saved himself, like, a minute going to the back. You're absolutely right, though. If it's not, we really need Matt to go back in.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely on the big chest, though.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's just that he thinks that, if there's going to be an item here, and the book is here, then he doesn't have to go back. Yeah, all right.
So Zelga's in full dungeon rush mode. Man, Zelga's gonna get away with not having to check like anything at like Paradox Cave and all that. Like that's amazing. True. Just skip the hook shot for forever and it'll work out. I promise.
I mean, it's like just typical of the game, right? You have to go over to Dark Death Mountain in order to, just to go fight off Lionels with 3 hearts. Nothing, like, a sword, a fighter sword that doesn't even do anything, and now you're here with like blue mail or whatever, red mail, 10 hearts, mirror shield, and it's like you don't even have to go back anymore,
Right. All right, so Matt gonna be picking up his 5th crystal. This is a very telling point of this race. Is he headed back in?
He is going back in. All right, so this is going to be his very last check. So Matt's going to be in go mode in about 30-ish seconds, depending on how this hammer yump goes.
Yeah, see if he gets a gold split on the hammer yump.
True. Oh, look at that. Look at him. Look at the little clink using the mirror shield. Yeah, but Zelga's making really great progress. He is going to see, he's already finished up Desert, so his Mire area is just going to be kind of the last thing. It does take quite a bit of time in order to go to Hera, but of course Zelga needs to finish up Skull Woods as well. Look at that. Instant mirror out. Matt at 121, also in go mode.
Yeah, so here's what you have to think about now for Matt versus Zelga. Zelga's gonna have 3 dungeons to do, but he's almost at the end of this one. Matt actually has to go into this portal and walk all the way down to Desert. This is very slow.
True.
And then we have to actually like go through Desert the, developer intended way. He can skip everything, but we've got to go to the back. So, this is where pumping matters a little bit, I think.
Good thing Matt is a gym rat. I know that he very much cares about his physical health.
All right, solid fight there with the silvers. On Vitreous for Zelga. That's going to be crystal number 5, evening the crystal count up. Just 2 to go for both of them.
Yeah.
Vastly different ones.
Yeah, and I mean, as you mentioned, part of Inverted, and especially the fact that we don't have, mitts for one, but also, of course, no boots. The overworld travel time is actually much more amplified, like that impact, right? And you can actually see, again, you mentioned Matt is pumping, wobbling, whatever his way into the front of Desert. We're gonna walk all the way to the back. Zelga, on the other hand, since already he's gonna finish this part, he could take advantage of the flute, right? Flute back over to Thieves Town, walk to the Dark World version of Skull Woods, go to the back, and then, while it does take a little bit longer to get up to Hera, it's looking pretty close, honestly. And then, of course, we still might have a sword differential, depending on where that 4th sword is. If it's on the way in GT somewhere, right? Because they still have to go find the big key in GT basement somewhere. Zelga could get bailed out with Temper Sword. But, not that I don't have any confidence in Zelga's Master Sword Ganon fight, because it is actually quite good, but it just cannot compare to a Temper Sword fight in terms of time.
Sure. Matt, unfortunately, casting Bombos, opening Mire, and stuck in his own portal.
Birded, man.
And this is really close.
This is close. It looks like those, Zelga laser focused, right? He is coming here with a scope with small key, right? Doesn't he have to go to the bridge chest in order to go get it?
I mean, we were talking about how much trouble Zelga might be in with that hook shot, and here we are. This, those of you who stuck around, like this is anyone's game.
Yeah, the hook shot, blessing and the curse, right? But in this case, it turns out more to be a blessing. The fact that it locked out the right things for Zelga. He didn't even have access to do all of so many worthless checks up on the mountain. And of course, once you have access to the mountain, of course, being inverted, right? It just kind of spirals out from there. No pun intended with spiral cave, but I mean, you could climb the mountain like 6 different times, right? In order to have to go get everything, and that just cost. I mean, every mountain trip's another minute, right? That you have to go spend.
Sure.
It is.
All right, so this hammer moth fight not going that well for Zelga, but gets it done. Moth not cooperating. That's Crystal 6.
And of course, there's a little bit, we haven't gotten to our 7th crystal yet, but of course, this being inverted, we do not have to climb up the mountain in order to get to GT. It is actually, in fact, at Hyrule Castle. And the fact that we have a save and quit point after defeating Aga, again, high efficiency for that light roll level.
All right, so this is the long traversal time for Zelga. He is going to have to climb this mountain, go to the portal, drop on down, hook shot over to the right, climb back up, walk back to the left. I swear, there's so many extra steps.
Yeah, yeah, and again, it's amplified again by the lack of, well, any movement item, basically.
I need that flute spot 9 that the Game Boy Advance version gives us.
The 9 is kind of a scary number, honestly. I don't know. You don't want to accidentally, press 9 or something like that in the game.
Don't do that. Solid fight there from Matt. That's Crystal 6. So now he's just got to run through desert. This is exciting.
Yeah, no.
I'm glad I didn't go to bed early.
This is a ridiculously close race. Yeah, because as we're demonstrating, right, Matt kind of had to pay the price in order to get into desert, walk all the way in, around. We're still gonna have to do more, as you said, pumping. In order to get into here in the back of desert. Hookshot's gonna help him a little bit, but Zelga's kind of doing his own trek over here. Looks like he is missing that sword, so he actually did take a peek at Floating Island. Not oftentimes you get to see that on Zelga's side.
The really interesting thing, and I think the thing that's keeping Matt in this right now, is that he chose to go do pod before full clearing Mire, and that's something we ought to ask him. I'm curious if potentially if the item's just there, he gets to skip everything like he did in Mire.
True. Yeah, that's actually a really good point. Man, every single little difference now seems to really be just kind of like amplifying the effect, right? You actually see Zelda doing a little, extra hook, right? It only is, whatever, a second or two, but I just kind of feel like, especially without these boots, the movement here is really gonna have, it's just gonna be a lot of little back and forths now.
Right, and let's not kid ourselves. Like GT routing, the Master Sword.
Well, that's true.
Is going to be slower for Ganon, but there could be another sword in GT. Like there's still 4 of them.
Yeah, there is one outstanding.
All right, that's going to be Crystal 7 here for Zelga, and then all he's got to do is save and quit, and then we're going to be walking into Ganon's tower, and then the same thing's going to be happening for Matt as long as he gets his salt and vinegar chips here in Land Mola's down.
Oh my gosh, dude, this is super close. So Zelga's already, he's holding out his crystal, but I mean, the difference right now, Matt's gonna get his crystals very, very soon. We're at a crystal cutscene difference? Is that what it is?
Pretty much.
Oh my gosh, dude. Look at, see, this is why we defeated Aga. All the time Zelga knew, right? Whatever, 10 minutes into the seed. He defeated Aga. We are literally right here, a save and quit away. Yeah, so we're gonna start GT. We do see a bunch of numbers in chat. I hope someone actually guesses it correctly. Zelga's gonna go to Hope Room first. We do have a small key, so it looks like we're gonna be able to keep going.
Yeah, we're headed right. Let's see what Matt decides to do. He's going right.
He is going right. Oh, I guess we don't have boots. Okay, I think he said this before. Like he normally likes to go left, but I think he would like to do this without boots.
And that is a possibility. We could have a torch key. I'm hoping not. I don't want to see a race decided by that, but
oh no. Well, you know, there's so many locations here in GT, and honestly, I don't really think people have really skipped anything, you know, from wherever they have been. So I don't think they have anything real. Like they don't have like terrible one-off locations, right?
Right. The biggest terrible location is going to be, you know, Turtle Rock.
Oh yeah, that's also very true. Yeah, but we are, man, we are like 2 to 3 rooms apart at this point, you know, between Zelga and Matt. You know, execution, every single little movement now is gonna count.
All right, it's not on the torch. The big key is available. Here we go.
Oh yeah, and that's right. You mentioned before that the boots actually are not in GT, so we would actually have to go finish. Yeah, that's where we have to go find boots. Yeah, that would be. Never mind. No, never mind. That would be terrible. I don't want to do that.
There's a big key, and it's to this dungeon.
Yeah,
we're looking for swords.
Right.
If this is a sword, it's huge. It's not. There's still some checks up top. So this is where execution matters. This is why people say you should practice execution. You should practice execution. Yeah, the items are randomized. We get it. But this is where it all kind of comes down. In these close races, it'll carry you. And both of these guys usually put on a clinic as far as execution. I'm really excited to see this climb.
Oh yeah. I mean, and especially for, you know, such high-level players as, you know, both Matt and Zelga. While I don't know how much of an edge their, you know, relative execution is going to get them, I mean, but this, like, the GT climb and any part, basically, end game, right? When it's only execution is probably one of the biggest time gains that, you know, these guys have over, I would say, less experienced players. There is no, did my opponent miss the ice rod, you know, and did I find it, you know, 20 minutes before them? There is no more. You're not looking for anything else. It is all about just practice and practice and experience and movement.
So we're literally about half room apart. So things to keep in mind, there are 4 chests top of GT. If any of those 4 chests have a sword, then this advantage is really going to swing into Zelga's favor if this lead holds. If we don't find a sword up there, it's gonna be really close. Like a Moldorm fall really could determine this race. Any slip up.
Oh, that was actually a really nice fire rod shot there on Zelga's side. Both of them have half magic, of course, but you know, fire rod's a very nice ranged weapon. Boostless Gauntlet, by the way, is not easy.
It's tough. Yeah, Zelga into G5 now does not get that fire rod shot because the Ancilla variable being off.
Something. Oh my gosh, Zelga. Oh no.
Matt's probably going to run into that exact same thing, but does get through G5. Matt headed into G5 now. Does get the favorable RNG with the Stalfos, so he's through, making up a little bit of time.
Oh no, Zelga. All right, so this is in game 1. You know, Matt is. Did not have the best of experiences of Lamos 2.
Oh no! He's giving the time back!
Oh my gosh.
Alright, Zelga into Wizrobes 1, gets them down.
Amazing.
Bread and butter play.
Bread and butter is something acceptable to have post 6 p.m. just versus salt and vinegar. I'm just you know, throwing it out there.
Alright, perfect. Into Wizrobes 2 for Zelga, gets through it, onto Fuzda Bridge. And Matt headed into Wizrobes 2 now. Zelga playing it safe, gonna stun all the red guards. Don't need to fall off the day. Matt gonna have to be careful. Does have a fairy in a bottle.
Yeah, we got that in Hope Room. Matt also actually, with the extra amount of magic that he got, you know, as a drop from earlier, he actually has a bit more luxury in order to use the cape. I mean, again, boostless gauntlet, you know, we talk about, oh, okay, you can't dash, you can't maybe control your movements. That bridge is probably one of the hardest rooms to do without boost. Because,
it is.
Yeah, you don't have any other recourse, basically, for those guards.
All right, so here we go. Checking these 4 chests. 1 arrow in the right chest, left chest, $20. 2 more chests. Could have sword for Zelga and really seal it for him potentially if he can just hold on.
If he can just hold this lead. Oh my gosh.
Another small key. So we've got 1 chance, 1 opportunity.
We're gonna have actually a very slightly faster Moldorm 2 fight, assuming Matt doesn't get bumped off here.
Very close. All right, Zelga's through. What is that last chest? It's a map. So
map. Oh my gosh.
All right, so this is the thing to keep an eye on. Both of these guys don't have boots. So I know Matt is very used to, with NMG, having boots. Zelga, very used to, I mean, Matt is used to this
like
too,
anything?
but Zelga is just a very well-rounded, going to be able to probably adapt to this very well. But Master Sword Fight, definitely going to be slower, so let's see what these guys can do.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, Matt. As you mentioned, very, very accomplished NMG runner. I mean, you put Temper Sword in his hands. He is certainly very, very comfortable. He's done the Ganon fight, you know, thousands upon thousands of times with the Tempered Sword. Zelga, as you also mentioned, though, you know, Zelga, any mode, Zelga is a very prominent cross keys runner, very, very talented, and honestly, one of the hallmarks of being cross keys is that you do any boss with any set of equipment combination. And you know, he got through Aga 2 very, very nicely here.
All right, so 4 cycles for each of them. Zelga getting taken away at the 134.45 mark. The bird cometh. And then here we go on Matt's side, just 9 seconds behind.
How much of a difference do you think boots makes in order to try and get the 1-on-1 on Matt's side?
I don't know.
That's also fair. We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out.
Heavily depends on where these guys line up. Zelga setting up the cane block strats, getting some double spins in here. That's very good. Gonna try to get this down to just 3 cycles for phase 1.
Yeah, no, I mean, the fact that Zelga, like, you actually see Zelga actually doing a significantly really nice job. Like, the whole point of the Samurai blocks is trying to keep that recoil in. This, Zelga's making this look super easy. Like, he has practiced this quite nicely, or quite a lot.
And Tempered Sword showing its power here with those spins. Matt is well in the lead now into phase 4. Or phase 3, rather. I can count, I promise.
Yeah, it's late. You know, it's inverted. Yeah, Matt just has to get through. But I mean, Zelga, we are almost to phase 3. Zelga, be careful, sir. Oh. He does have a fairy for what it's worth, but you know, I was gonna say we can live. It is just that the fairy revival time is still gonna kind of eat up into in this case Zelga's deficit. But just like that, though, on phase 4, the power of the Tempered Sword shows on Matt's side. Get your GGs in the chat as Matt overtakes Zelga for the Ganon fight, and he will claim victory over Zelga in at least their 2-0 series.
Man, this is intense.
Super,
this is what you like to see in a random race.
Oh yeah.
You like to see that close execution battle when it comes down the stretch. All right, into phase 4 for Zelga. Just has to land a few silver arrows. Got a setup here for the triple. Gets it done. And GG's to Zelga. Wowie wow. What a race. We've got Matt here in the booth with us, winner of tonight's race. GG's.
Yo, GG's, Matt.
Thanks, guys. How's it going?
Good. How about yourself?
Pretty good. You know, I mean, bootless inverted. It was about as good as a bootless inverted C could be.
We are also joined here by Zelga. GG, Zelga.
Yo, GG's.
Yo, GG's, dude.
So, Matt, I want to ask a question. When you turned in Purple Chest and got your Mire Big, talk me through your thought process and deciding to do pod over desert and like potentially diving mire at that point. Well, you didn't have the book. You couldn't go to desert, so.
Yeah, so there's 2 reasons. Well, number 1, I was missing the book, and I had to go back to pod anyway for 2 items. And number 2, I really, at that point in time, really wanted that book to be on the green pendant. I was like, if book's on the green pendant, I feel pretty good. I was already feeling okay for having avoided TR, but with talking with Zelga about what happened with his route, I don't think he dove TR either, unless TR was Quake, which I never looked at.
So it was literally impossible for me to do anything on Death Mountain, period, until go mode.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
Did Matt end up telling? Oh no, go for it, Dancy.
No, I was gonna say, so like the early story, and there was a couple comments in chat that were just like, Zelga's never gonna get that until it's a last location. And then every time something would develop, we're sitting here discussing, like, all right, this is actually kind of good for Zelga, as long as we don't see any mitts. Like he can't even go to these places Matt's, gone up on the mountain, which had nothing except, an extra sword. But I think everything worked out so nice. Given for you, Zelga, given that you got the hook when you did and all the items laid out, the difference I think here was mainly that sword, like the extra sword being that little bit of an extra difference here.
Yeah, I had the restream up for the very end, and I saw someone mention that the sword was in Hera, which is a little annoying because that actually is a place I went, but it is what it is. But yeah, honestly, I know that a typical opening for inverted is you go to Skull Woods, you get your bombs there, and then you just clear it out. So I was thinking it's very likely with that Thieves Big that Matt just literally full cleared Thieves when he found it. So it was completely dead to me forever because I didn't do it, obviously.
Right.
And so at that point, I was just kind of trying to play the odds of like, okay, I guess I'm doing Hookless Swamp. Why not? And everything just kept getting laid out, and it felt bad until after I got go mode instantaneously in the back of Swamp after the hook. I was like, well, maybe Matt skips left side Swamp, and that's like my only real out, I thought.
Yeah,
I don't
like
know.
double dip Thieves. Like I went into Thieves and then did Skull and then found the big key. And just because I didn't have a Moon Pearl, I went back and it felt horrible. But then I got the hook, and then the hook, there was nothing in Hookshot game. I was like, okay, well, I just have to go buy the Pearl from Bottle Vendor anyway.
Yeah, and you mentioned Zelga, the big key for Thieves showing up in Skull. You two were pretty much, for the first 10, 15 minutes of the seed, you guys were basically on the same screen. Even I think had to do the Ropa at the beginning for bombs the same amount of times.
That's right.
So I remember making mention that both of them might be thinking, well, the other one may have gotten this first, so I might be hosed. But Matt, Matt, what was your decision? Like, I guess what was the thought process of let's go into Pendant Thieves just before we go do Aga?
Well, I didn't have a mirror. The only thing that was in logic was the Bottle Vendor. So you're guaranteed to get 2 items in the back of Thieves. So I figured it was far more likely that there was something in Thieves because we had the small key, right? Everything was in logic, but the big chest. So that was kind of the reason why I did that.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can't fault you there.
That walk after I'm a huge proponent of doing Aga inverted. I will do it like whenever I can most of the time, just without Pearl and with only like if we had a mirror or something, it'd be a little different. But with only the Bottle Vendor, I was just like, no, I gotta go back at Thieves.
Yeah, I saw the same like math problem and came to a different solution in that I was like, well, clearly the game is telling me we got to do Aga, and there's no way that there's going to be a hammer and a pearl in the back of Thieves. So let's just go do Aga. I can do Front of Escape, go to the Bottle Vendor, and then if there actually was nothing, we can come back to Thieves. And so, yeah, I just I was never getting that hook shot to the last location. So yeah, you guys called it.
I was very much thinking that there was a chance, and it sort of would make sense, but it also, from the way you're talking now, I can understand why it wouldn't have made sense for you to flute away. When you dropped your portal in front of Swamp and fluted away, I was like, he's going to Thieves. And then, like, as like a failsafe. And then you went to 2, and then that kind of worked out good because you had isolated Catfish. Obviously it's not too far away with a flute. Getting Bombos there was nice. And you still didn't have a way to get into Mire, so there's no way for you to take that bait. But I was really thinking Zelga's gonna go get that hook shot right now, but just didn't pan out that way.
I briefly considered it, but it was the same thing that happened in our game 1 too, where I was basically down to one bad pendant dungeon or hookless swamp. And both times I just told myself I'm not going to be that guy that refuses to do hookless swamp. And especially now, I even got a big key before going in, so it's even extra bonus. So, and
Oh yeah.
it's kind of I don't feel bad about the decisions I made here, just very very unfortunate in terms of what it meant, but then also the item layout was still fortunate in the end, so I can't even complain, honestly.
Yeah, your route ended up working out pretty well. As people mentioned, right? Like you were pretty much locked out of the entirety of the mountain, which could have spiraled out into multiple minutes, right? Of just chasing, just chasing red herrings, basically. I guess, yeah. I mean, like, but it was kind of unfortunate that you did miss out on the sword and Hera compass chest, like because you were kind of already in go mode, right? And you had the entirety of GT potentially, right, to look for a sword. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a harder sell for you to drop down to Hera, right, in the whatever one floor and then come back up without really any movement.
Yeah, I did briefly consider it, but again, it was like, if I got Master Sword, Silvers, like that should be enough. I had to assume that Matt had the hook shot and he's probably cleared all of Death Mountain. So honestly, I figured he had at least tempered and boots. So, because I knew boots were in Ganon's tower. But at the same time, I was just like, I can't spend time on these checks. I get the map chest on my way up and then we'll call it.
That was another kind of interesting thing developing just because Matt was go moding. You were go moding Desert and Mire, but Zelga and us, we had the knowledge of the small key being on the torch, so we knew that the whole logical boots can't be in GT. Because if that had been on torch, Zelga, obviously, I think you'd have just read the logic, dipped out of there, and went searching for boots. I'm assuming, Matt, your game plan going into GT, if the thing was on the big key was on the torch, you were just gonna keep clearing, I guess.
Yeah, in retrospect, it probably is smart, especially since you have to walk by there anyway, to check and make sure what the logic is, just in case that situation happens. But I'm not that smart, so I didn't do
Inverted's
that.
hard.
And yeah, I honestly, I really didn't really know how to feel. Like the fact that I never went in Turtle Rock was like, that's got to be the thing that's going to save me. If there's something that saves me in this seat, it is that. And because there were definitely times where I probably should have gone there, and if I had have gone there, I would have lost. So that's kind of what I was thinking. I felt kind of bad about the ice play. I wasn't really thinking that the hook shot would have been kind of the key difference. And like given that I don't think Zelga would have missed the hook shot, I wasn't feeling great about my route because just kind of the order I did things in wasn't the best at times. But I don't know. I kind of got lucky in this one, just like I kind of got lucky in the last one.
Well, looking ahead, this Matt puts you at 3-0, and Zelga, you will be at 2-2. Matt, we'll start with you. Do you have any of your other matches scheduled within the group?
Yes, I have all of them scheduled, and they're all within a 12-hour period, starting at Friday at like 8:30, and then Saturday at 8 a.m., and then Saturday at 10 a.m.
All right, it'll be a lot of rando for Matt in this upcoming weekend. So, Zelga, do you have any of yours scheduled on the docket?
Not officially. It'll probably be like the end of groups, like that Thursday, Friday of next week is probably what it's going to be end up, but nothing official yet.
All right, we'll keep an eye out on the schedule. If you guys want to see some more Matt and Zelga, two powerhouse runners putting on a good show today, and make sure you give those guys a follow. I'm sure they'd appreciate it. Yeah, any final thoughts before we get ready to wrap up things here?
Just thank you for the comms, and I mean, GG's again to Zelga. Like it feels like I did not think I was going to win these two games. In my opinion, Zelga coming into groups probably the favorite to win this whole tournament. So I mean, it was a lot of fun. Hopefully, we get to do it again sometime.
Yeah, just echo pretty much all of that, just in reverse. That Matt as a 2 seed is like one of the scariest things you could possibly draw. But Yeah, big GGs. Thank you guys for the commentary, tracking, and never roll inverted again. Thanks.
Yes, we all were talking about how positive the mode is. We're going to put positive spins on it. It's very good. And you guys, I mean, both of you guys played it very well given the equipment you had. So big GGs to both of you, and best of luck going forward with all your races.
Yeah, definitely. I want to echo everything that Dante said. I want a big thank you for letting us be able to restream you. It was one heck of a race, despite it being boostless. I do very much appreciate that you guys tried to finish the seed as fast as you possibly could. Again, as Dante mentioned, given what you had found. So thank you so much, and certainly best of luck into your remaining group matches. I also want to thank our wonderful tracker tonight, Lady Lorlinda, clicking everything, keeping us everybody who was involved very, very honest. Everything was lit up on the tracker. Unfortunately, no boots, but it is accurate. So certainly very much appreciative of all of our effort tonight. So right, just in terms of what other races we have on tonight, there is a race currently going on in SpeedGaming 5. It is Chex Human versus Pennyroy Oil. That is open hard. And then looks like actually another race actually probably just started. Also open hard is P-Train versus JP on SpeedGaming 3. So feel free to check it out. And of course, lots more random matches in upcoming days. Zelga's, Matt's, of course, everything on SpeedGaming, ALTTPR Randomizer channel. So if you're into watching more rando, just basically come back in a few hours or go to the other SpeedGaming channels. Until then, have a wonderful rest of your night.